Welcome to the first episode of Next Stop, New Earth. Now,
I am Yoonha Verse.
and I am Richard Sabiaga. Joined here today with the one and ooh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is that ASMR we have?
Oh.
As soon as we're starting. Can we do some sipping ASMR? Wow, that honestly might have been one of the weakest sippages I've ever.
I really tried to make some noise.
Oh, you want to hear some awesome sippage?
You're gonna make this like really sexual or something.
No, whoa!
Whoa. Okay. Give me a
not
good
my
one.
bad that
Give me a good one.
I'm just got that sexual sacral energy going on.
This is what you're giving to the people.
I call that alien abduction.
That is pretty accurate.
That was really good.
Right?
That's some really good sparkling water.
Is the only way to drink this like?
Perhaps not. I think you could do both lips over it.
Don't be suggesting these things to me.
Anyways, hey, welcome to the first ever episode of Next Stop New Earth. A lot of you here are probably confused as wondering what exactly is going on. And so I think just to jump us off and fill you guys in, what have we been up to? Where are we right now, and what exactly is going on? Oh, beautiful. I love the chime. Is that exactly
So
what I played?
beautiful.
I think it was.
Was it?
Maybe.
Oh, we're just so synchronized.
We're just so synchronized.
So I don't even know which camera to be looking at.
I think just look at me.
Okay.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, we sound so professional.
Oh, very.
Camera 1, camera 2, camera 3.
Don't point at them and make me edit it and make me switch with all of them because I'm editing all of this and okay.
Well, I can help. Anyways,
Okay.
you guys can't see this, but what we're looking at right now, we're in a fucking jungle.
Yeah, literally right behind you guys. Oh, it's so sad. I don't know if you guys can hear the water in the back too. There's a river, maybe like less than like 30 feet from us.
And a jacuzzi that looks out to the river.
Yeah, with like actual hot water. That's insane.
But before this,
Before this,
we were in a 3-day silent meditation retreat.
Oh, yeah, huh?
Which was crazy. Yo, can I lean on this or are there spiders? Oh, yeah, there's a web. But I'm just gonna, yeah.
Hey,
fine,
one with
it's
nature.
Fine, it's fine.
What happened to that?
Okay. We're so in love with nature. Just
So
not
in
spiders.
love. You the next second. Mosquito hunts!
Okay. I sprayed myself, so I'm gonna be
Oh,
fine.
okay.
But
I
we
didn't.
are in Bali.
In Bali.
Motherfucking Bali.
And we just been out just going everywhere. Like everywhere in Bali, just staying wherever places. And I think I want to... Oh, there it goes. She just like shook because a
was just
fly landed
dancing.
on her. No, you did not. That was a fly. Someone's not in love with nature.
Anyways.
Um,
we are just in Bali and I feel like we just like haven't really planned shit in advance and shit just keeps happening that makes us feel blessed as fuck.
yeah, we've kind of just been going on one-way ticket, no plan whatsoever. Just been like, oh, the universe will take care of us.
Literally.
And so it has. And so it has. As you can see, for the video people here who can see this lovely, amazing house that we're in.
We got this shit for free
Hey, I love being an influencer.
because of Richie's clout
All right.
and because we asked.
Yes. Ask and it is given. And a lot of people have been saying like, whoa, you guys are in your retirement era. You guys are just traveling now. Like,
Yeah, people are confused. I feel like we didn't really give people
Yeah.
context.
yeah, I feel like a lot of people think that we're just done.
We're
right?
like not gonna be in LA anymore,
Mhm.
and like maybe we just made a lot of money and we're just like retired.
Yeah, no, I would say that we are completely opposite of that from retired. I'd say that our journey and what we are starting is only just beginning. That is the beginning bell.
Beninging bell.
That is the beninging bell. You have been seated at the beninging bell. Welcome to the beninging.
Welcome to the beninging bitches. I mean, okay. After you told me that I could swear,
Oh,
now I'm like
yeah,
going
let's-
full
yeah, please.
dick out.
Oh,
Oh, maybe
all
I
shaboing boing.
Okay, I'll shaboing boing.
Yeah.
Not full dick out. But so we are not in our retirement era.
Mm-hmm.
We've been I mean, we've been traveling and having a lot of fun, but it's been a lot of like grinding and
Yeah.
I don't know. What does our day to day look like?
If there's one way that I could summarize like what we're really doing out here, it's not just out here for enjoyment. Obviously, we are enjoying a lot of it, but I would say that what we've been doing recently is a lot of personal, like spiritual development. Really going deep within and understanding
Reading,
ourselves and
meditating.
and journaling and reading.
And how can we forget? What have you been up to, Richard Sabiaga?
Oh, and
Some
I have
crazy, awesome shit.
created the beginning of my life maxing course.
And the New Earth community.
The New Earth community is here.
Wait, I love this so much.
How
Hold
do
on.
we take this
People
with us
said my
everywhere?
voice is really soothing, so I'm gonna
Please,
give you the
yes.
intro. The New Earth community is here, here, here. Okay,
we'll workshop it. We'll workshop it.
I wasn't sure if you were gonna say ungs,
Oh.
but like that's not the vibe.
That's definitely not the vibe.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
right.
But tell us more. What does that even mean?
What is New
that?
Earth? So, I've been explaining this. I've been preaching this for a while, and I feel like there's still a lot of you who still don't really understand what that is. So, allow me to explain again. New Earth. So, I first heard this term from Yoonha, and she first heard that from a book called A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. I must burp. I'm so sorry.
It's the sparkling water. Oh my god!
That was some crazy burpage.
Shout out to Eckhart Tolle,
Shout out Eckhart Tolle.
who also wrote the book The Power of Now.
Right.
He's amazing.
And I think Eckhart Tolle didn't come up with New Earth either. Like I think
It's a well-known concept.
It's a well-known
among
concept.
The
right.
if you know, you know community.
If you know, you know, right. And so to explain a little bit more about New Earth and what's going on, right? So in this present moment, right? This is my explanation all the time, right? The Earth is going to divide into two groups of people in this lifetime. You're going to see people who are either operating out of fear and they're operating out of wanting control, out of greed, out of lust, for money, for power, for ego, and this is the way of the old Earth, right? The people on the new
And it
Earth.
stinks.
What did you say?
And it stinks.
And it's stinky and smelly and
yes.
and yucky. And the people on New Earth, these are people who are evolving, an evolved version of man and womankind. I'm a feminist. Of people who are operating no longer out of fear, out of lack, but people who are operating out of love, operating out of joy, operating out of abundance. And I would say if there is one way to really describe it, it is in their state of creating.
Yes.
I think a lot of us have forgotten how divine we are. I think a lot of us have forgotten that we have the ability to create. And because of that, like a lot of us lead to consumption, and we're just so overly just like obsessed with what the media is putting out, and that the whole media, like all that, they just want money and power and control and all that stuff.
Oh, we're getting into all that.
Yeah, I didn't mean to get too deep into that. My bad.
No. I mean, there are always so many topics to get into, but I mean, I wanted to know more about what you're specifically doing when it comes to your New Earth community that you started and Life Maxing program.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if you do want me to get into that, thank you for asking. Basically, right? So, if we want to make a change in this Earth, I need to explain a little bit more about the New Earth, right?
Okay.
And so, as we begin evolving, right? I've explained this to you so many times. You already know this.
Tell me more.
Right. As we begin evolving, and over the choices that we make over this lifetime, it's going to shape our reality. It's going to shape our perspective of how we see this Earth. And even though two different kinds of people living on the old Earth, people on the new Earth, are living on the same one Earth, just by frequency, by their energy, by how each other is behaving alone, we would be able to realize that and say, wow, like this person is not living on the same earth as me. This person is living in hell while I'm finding this earth to be heaven. And so to relate that back to life maxing, right? Firstly, if we want to make that change in the world, and if we want to see a better society, it isn't a matter of waiting for change. It starts with you. It starts with you taking the initiative to be your best self. It takes your initiative to tapping into your own divine powers, and that's how it unlocks it for everyone else. It makes like one big chain reaction. One person goes deep in with themselves, and another person sees it and goes like, wow, like how do I do that, right? And then they want to learn, and then next person wants to learn, next person wants to learn, and through that huge domino effect, a lot of us are going to awaken and remember how powerful we are and begin creating. And finally, right? Sorry, it's a lot.
Keep going.
Maybe I shouldn't apologize. I don't do that in New Earth. Fuck that. As I had said previously, your reality is based on your perspective and how you feel within, right? Like it's not the external things that make your Earth. It is how you feel within. And so with this original first lesson, this first foundational life maxing program that I'm making, it's about understanding your world within. Because as you understand your world within, your world without, or your external world, is going to reflect that. And so that's exactly what that is. But with that being said, did you have something?
No, keep going.
Yeah, with that being said, this podcast is our way of giving that free information, that free sauce, that free game to people out there. And I'd like to ask you, what made you want to be a part of this podcast? Like, what is this podcast? Why are we making it? How would you describe that?
Okay, let's see.
Oh, no, please.
No, I feel like
she
I gotta
hesitated.
I gotta say something profound and then go for it.
Oh, I love it. I
You know
love
what
it.
I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh, yeah. That's a clip.
It's
Yeah.
like a sound machine.
Yeah.
Except it's not a machine. It's
Life.
a divine gift.
Ah, yes.
Handmade.
Of creation.
Exactly.
Creating vibration and frequency.
Okay. I feel like you got into a lot of different parts of what we want to discuss. So
My bad. My bad.
I just want to like point out. So yeah, you've been really busy putting together this program for people to at least get the foundational knowledge so that we can all be on the same page and move on to the next part of what we need to do as a collective consciousness to evolve. So that's been really awesome to see. I know that you had a very well-paved path as a content creator with a lot of like people following you, and you could have gone a certain direction with that, but you chose to almost like, I don't want to say give up, because you're still like funny as fuck and like not giving that up, but I just told you before too that like I think you're so brave for realizing what's more important to you and to society and deciding to go this route, even though you know that this means that you might lose some followers or viewers or views and stuff like that. But yeah, so I really respect you a lot for... Don't cry.
I'm not gonna cry. Not
You're
yet.
a cry baby.
Okay. All right. Okay.
No, but I really think that it's awesome that you took that initiative, and yeah, it's just so cool to like see people who join the program who like talk to you, and you telling me how a lot of them are like having profound realizations. And if you're watching this,
we love you. We love you so much. We
love
talk
you.
about you.
Yeah, it makes me really, really happy. And I would say next, in terms of this podcast, it's kind of like an extension. I mean, everything that we do, like me, even as an artist with my music and what you're doing, and that sparkling water.
That's sparkling
And this podcast, it all leads,
Contributes.
yeah, contributes, and like it's for the same goal of eventually like raising or gradually like, well, same shit,
Yeah.
raising the collective consciousness in ways that we can.
Yeah. You know what? And actually, because I kind of went in depth about that, I kind of want to turn the mic over to you and ask about what you're up to and how that leads to New Earth, and how you think your art might redefine or contribute to that.
Well.
Well.
I think that in terms of like the last project that I released, Unicore, I'm so proud of that project, and I feel like
So good.
thank you. If people have been following me as an artist and listening to like my music, I know you've said this, right? Like there's like a really clear progression of how the project before this dealt with like me being really depressed and having a lot of doubts about where my career is going, and just, you know, a lot of, I was a sad girl. That was a sad girl era.
And then I came in.
And Richie changed everything.
Ew, I just saw you spit. Like, it's like in your hair somewhere. I don't know where it is.
Don't point that out.
Oh, my bad. Well, it's there in the podcast now. It made
Is
it.
it still like hanging there?
No. It's somewhere.
dissolved.
It's dissolved.
Anyways, and then you came in.
Yes.
Well, that was part of it, but I think that, yeah, with this newer project called Unicore, so many of the songs deal with like my realizations when it comes to my spiritual journey, getting out of depression, having an ego death, just having that, regaining that like abundant mindset and love for life. So it's a project that I'm really proud of, and I feel like while we've been traveling, I've also just been focused on myself in terms of making sure that I'm like really removing my limiting beliefs and aligning with my highest self, and then also thinking about like, how do I continue to be a messenger? And I'm so grateful that like a lot of people are fucking with my music, and I think that by making music that people vibe to, even if they're not paying attention to the lyrics yet, I'm like seeping into their
It's like little
subconscious
seeds that you're planting.
Yes, I'm planting the seeds, seeping into their subconscious mind to really plant the seeds for like, yeah, what is possible and what kind of mindset I embody. And so that's the path that I want to continue as an artist.
Can I ask real quick before we move on to other topics? What if you had a song that you could choose that you feel like really contributes to, or I would say maybe is representative of how you feel like New Earth wise, that might be within that realm ish? Would you say you have a song?
I have multiple songs. I mean, because literally so many of my songs are like in that realm. Okay, well, you tell me, because you know my music so well.
You know,
I was gonna choose between Angel Digits and Fun Little Freaky Bitch.
Really? Wow, that wasn't even one of my.
Oh, what the heck? What were you
actually,
gonna choose?
I was gonna say
Love Odyssey?
I was gonna say Many Me's.
Really? That embodies New Earth?
Yeah, I think being able to love yourself multidimensionally like that.
Well, I guess Many Me's is in that direction, but it's kind of like I'm like in that transitional period where I'm asking like, can you push me off? I'm scared.
Right.
There are many me's to love. So I'm not like fully, I'm like dipping my toes, but I'm not like fully diving.
Well, yeah, I think that's pretty representative of where a lot of us are, right? Like going into this new territory, like it is kind of scary, and you like a lot of us are just dipping our toes into what's possible for us, and we'll see over this lifetime, you know what happens. So it's gonna be exciting.
You're right. Yeah, and I guess like when it comes to things like Angel Digits, it's where I literally am like, life is great, and I I know
Yeah.
what feels good, and I
Yeah.
know how to manifest. A lot of miracles will come my way.
Mm.
So that is like the New Earth vibe to me.
I like it.
Mhm.
I think Angels Digits is up there too. Yeah.
For sure, for sure.
Uh-huh.
So let's talk more about this podcast. What do we cover so far about that?
Right now we're going into
Like, what is this podcast about?
Yeah.
Why did we make it?
Mm,
We shared our like big overarching goal,
right.
but I would say this Next Stop New Earth podcast,
Next stop, New Earth.
the next stop is New Earth. It is. Why'd you laugh?
Oh, sorry.
That was such a divine moment. And you think it's funny?
It's not
Bitch.
funny. It's serious. It's very serious.
Repent. Just kidding.
No, don't send me to the old Earth.
Sinful Richie. Repent.
Yeah. So with this Next Stop, New Earth podcast, what this really is, and what we're really covering here is any and all topics that allow us to understand and tap into our creative powers more. Yeah, I essentially kind of described it as like living life like you're in Minecraft creative mode.
I love that analogy so much. Can
Oh,
you please
yeah.
explain? Well, it's funny because I don't even play Minecraft. But when you explain,
Aw.
and
I was about to make you
you've
explain
been
it.
fucking you've been fucking begging me to play Minecraft, and like
So
I
good.
will. But the thing is, like, I know once I start playing, I'm gonna get too into it, and I'm not gonna do anything else.
Nah, Minecraft is like a 2-week thing, and then you forget about it, and then
Really?
you play it again every
But I
6
love
months.
stuff like that, where it's like building a world,
Well,
like roller coaster tycoon type stuff.
we build in real life, and
That's
then
true.
you're like, oh, why would I want to play Minecraft?
You want me to explain Minecraft creative mode?
Not really.
Okay, you go.
So Minecraft survival mode, obviously you have to work really hard, and you're fighting all these like bosses and these mobs and gathering all these resources, and yes, there is still that creative aspect, but whereas in creative mode you kind of just spawn things in, you know, you have whatever hacks, whatever cheats like you can, and you just have freedom to do whatever you want, and I think ultimately like that is what we are achieving.
God mode.
God mode, going God mode for all of us. And on top of that too, one thing that I really want to do with this podcast is make these topics, these esoteric, more spiritual kind of topics, more approachable to people who aren't in spirituality or
That
anything
is
like
so important to us because I feel like so many people think like us and they have similar questions about reality and what this all means, why are we all here, that type of shit. But a lot of people are either too isolated to like ask these questions to anyone, or they're scared that people around them are gonna think that this is like some woo-woo shit, right? So I know I've also been there. I didn't want to be seen as like a witch or like, I don't know, someone
that.
who
Witch, burn the witch.
like, oh, I'm into astrology and collect crystals. Like, nothing against them, but like, I don't know. It just has like a connotation, right? That
Yeah.
a lot of us want to avoid being associated with. That people are just like too scared to talk about important topics that we think are super important for us to be talking about right now.
Yeah.
So it's important to us that like, yeah, a lot of these topics, they are not like stuff that only people who have long beards and like a long white gown with like barefoot walking
Yeah.
type gurus can talk about. It's something that we can all like share thoughts on.
Yeah, and I think more importantly that everyone like does share their thoughts on, like not even as just like oh maybe, like if we want to actually live our fullest lives, like these are things that we need to talk about, right? And so making this more accessible to the average person who doesn't pay attention to any of this stuff, like that's really what I want to do, because I really feel that, like that feeling of like feeling crazy, for thinking about these things, right? And what's kind of interesting to me is like this is a lot of stuff that we might think of as kids, right? But you'll notice it around kids. Sometimes
they're always like, why?
They're like, why, right? Like, why this, why that? And then society kind of just tells you like, dude, stop fucking questioning things, right? But it's so important that we maintain that curiosity and keep questioning things, because that's how we understand more. That's how we figure things out more. And so, yeah,
I mean, these topics too, it's like stuff that we literally love to talk about between the two of us.
All the
like
time.
we can talk about this for like
Forever.
hours. It's actually like how we bonded
that is how we bonded.
to begin with. I feel like I was in a place where I was asking a lot of these questions and like reading books about it and learning a lot about them myself, but I didn't really have anyone to like share these thoughts with. So yeah, it was always like such a lonely journey for me. Even like my closest friends, like they didn't really know that I was getting pretty deep into spirituality. And when I met you, that's when I was like, oh my God, finally someone who I can talk to this shit about. And like, we also approached it from like a very similar angle, I guess, in a way where like we want to understand the why, like, oh, like, does this make sense to us? I don't want to say scientifically, but like, does this logically it's weird to even say that.
Yeah, that's kind of weird to explain, but I guess in the way of like, can you back it up? Can you back it up with reasoning?
Yeah,
right?
We don't
like,
just think of it as like everything is magic and ta-da, you know?
Because so she and I we're both really deep into psychology, understanding the human brain and how that works, and I think that's just a huge foundation for all of that.
The intersection between like neuroscience and like human behavior and how everything works.
So fascinating to me.
We love
that
shit.
New Earth type shit.
So yeah,
I'd actually like to dive in a little bit,
and
ask about what your spiritual journey was like as you were growing up, right? Because I assume that was a big hurdle for you to overcome, especially if these topics are things that may be considered like taboo or woo-woo. What was that like for you in your spiritual journey?
I feel like it's been years in the making, and I really thought about this. I think it really started with the fact that, for some background, I moved from Korea to the States when I was 13, and because of that, I went through like the whole culture shock and being an immigrant, like not speaking the language, all that shit, boing boing, and we love nature.
Someone doesn't.
And because of being an immigrant, I've had like this perpetual identity crisis. I think anyone who is an Asian American immigrant especially can relate to this, where as a teenager you just like want to fit in and be like everyone else, but clearly I was not like everyone else. And so that made me question, who am I? Like, why am I here on earth? Like, what is the meaning of life? A lot of these like existential questions. And I almost feel like asking these questions and having the identity crisis became my identity for a while, until I got to fit in and I was like, hold on, this is also like not who I am or who I thought I wanted to be. So then the quest continued.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I am so proud to say that like I'm finally at a point where I can say I don't have to ask those questions anymore, because they are answered. Yeah.
Wow, I am so proud of you. That's so awesome. That kind of journey like is a lot. It's it's tough, especially doing that alone. And so I'm glad that somehow, ridiculously, like in this timeline, like we found each other. and hopefully through this podcast, like we find more people like each other, and we can build that community.
Literally, I would be so happy if people who are going through like similar existential questions, especially like younger girls, basically like my younger self,
Yeah.
if they listen to this podcast and can kind of like be comforted to know like, oh, I don't have to worry about like who I am.
Yeah.
Things like that.
I just want to like just take all of them in.
I know, we
Here.
always love to adopt babies. We have so many kids. Oh.
Pause.
Okay,
Hold
so
on.
many people always want us to be their like mother and father.
We could do that.
We didn't bring Sachi. Oh, it's okay.
Okay. Next time, you
Next
guys will
time.
see Sachi.
But yeah, so what about you? Why
My spiritual journey.
why did you get into this? Like what's your story, Richard Sabiaga?
My story, Richard Sabiaga's story. For me, it was growing up with the fear of death. Right.
Whoa.
Whoa. So one of my first encounters with that, right? I think I was watching a movie with my parents, and it was this kid who watched their own parent like die, and I'm like 3-4 years old, like watching this, and like I cried, and my parents kind of just laughed it off. We're just like, "Ha, oh, so silly, so silly." And I'm sitting there like, dude, what? You're gonna die one day.
What is death?
Like, what is death? What do you mean? What? And that's that's a lot to put on a 4-year-old, you know. And also, you know, like no hate or anything, no repressed anger or anything against my parents, right? Like, how are they supposed to know like that I'm having existential like crisis, right? And you know, I even tried talking about it with my siblings, right? It's like, oh, you know, like what happens like when you die? Like what happens like what's gonna happen? And they're kind of just like, oh, he's so cute,
Young Richie, little Richie.
little 6-year-old boy pondering upon the mysteries of life. Like
You are an old soul, and I feel like of all people I know, you talk about death the most. Or you're like, I feel like it's like always on your mind. Not in like a bad way. You just like,
it frees me. It's a
Yeah.
terrifying thought, but like
because now you're like, you've
frees
gotten
you.
over it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And so, well, actually, before that all happened, before I was able to really free myself with those thoughts, wow, the sparkling water has a lasting effect on me, it seems.
It's really sparkling in your throat.
It is. So, because of that, right? Because it was kind of repressed, I never really had a space to talk about it at all. And I escaped into video games. I escaped into like schoolwork or whatever, and
You're
friends.
just avoiding the topic.
Just avoided the topic like at all costs, right? And I even tried going just normal, like, all right, I'm gonna go to school and get a lot of money and start a business and have a family, like whatever. But like,
get money, get bitches.
money, get well, one bitch, my bitch, the universe,
Yes.
my universe. Anyways, but at the end of it, I was like, wow, like what really is still the point about that? Like I'm sitting there at like 6 years old, just like, yo, what's the point of this if I'm gonna die? And no one's like telling me the answer. So like that pissed me off.
Crazy.
And it wasn't until about 2 years ago that a friend opened up and gave me the space to talk about those things and to talk about those deepest fears and to be really vulnerable with them. And because of that, I felt this insane amount of connection that I never even knew was possible. That I was like, wow, like there is so much more to life than we've been shown. And since then, like that's when I really got into like, wow, okay, so fuck it. Like I am gonna think about this more. And after that, I eventually got over my fear of death. Went deeper into spirituality, understanding a lot of that. That first time that I had that little soul bond, that's when I first really understood or came up with the concept like, oh shit, like we really do have a soul. Like there really is a next layer of love and a really next layer of connection that's possible for humans. And that's when I was like, all right, let's fucking explore this. And so it's been 2 years and I'm here.
Sheesh. Yeah, one thing that I will confidently say about ourselves is that we are truth seekers.
We are.
Let me say that one more
Oh,
time. Pause.
please. Oh, sorry. Yes, go.
One thing that one thing that I can say about ourselves is that we are truth seekers. Why are you playing Happy Birthday?
Happy birthday to Next Stop New Earth and
Truth
all the truth
seekers.
seekers.
Yeah. That. I mean, we are just like two really curious people, and like we love getting into these topics and exploring further and further. So I feel like we're definitely not gurus. You should not be listening to us if you think that we have like all the answers and can guide you somehow. Maybe it'll help you to a degree, but this isn't supposed to be like an educational podcast necessarily.
Yeah, I'd say it's more about us talking about our experiences and what we've gone through, and
the knowledge we've gained so far while still like exploring more and being curious.
Yeah, like we're like yeah, we are really deep into this, and we really live, breathe, eat, and sleep this shit.
And shit.
And
poop.
And stinky. And
anyways,
like we literally, as we said in the beginning of the podcast, we were just at a silent retreat for like 3 days, right?
And we loved it.
Loved it so much. There's so many people on my story who were like, "Bro, you're capping, bro. You're not gonna actually do it." My fault, G, that you just ain't on my New Earth wave.
3 or 4.
Oh.
Oh, did you hear my joint pop when I did that?
I think mine did too.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you have a certain perception online right now because you are a hilarious being and you have put forth your sense of humor out there the most.
Cannot help it.
You cannot help being funny.
Cannot help it.
But there's so much depth to you that a lot of people don't even realize, and I'm so excited for people to realize. Because
real eyes realize real lies.
The duality of Richard Sabiaga and Yoonha Verse is what you would love. Well, you would come to love.
Love that shit.
Oh, well, I guess we kind of covered it, but like basically, we are just like two very like just ingrained in society, like everyday type people that are not like living in the mountains. Just like right now, we're in the jungle. We're in a fucking jungle. But usually, we're like doing our thing in LA.
Like in LA, in like a fucking city.
Yeah, so I think that it's cool that like we get to talk about these things because we just want to make these things more mainstream. Make
the New Earth mainstream.
Exactly.
Make these actual topics that we can talk about.
So what can people expect from this podcast? Like, what's our vision? What vision? What's your vision?
My vision is a little bit of creativity.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
A little bit of weed, a little bit of cash. We're gonna be rest in peace, X.
Okay, that's disrespectful.
No. No, it's not.
Okay. Anyways.
Maybe it is. Sorry.
If you guys want to like hear us yap about these different topics, it's not just going to be spiritual topics. Like we said, it's going to be about just anything that helps you live in creative mode.
Right.
We would love to talk about like creativity, mindset shifts,
self-development stuff,
limiting beliefs and how to remove them, what's helped us with that.
Yeah, our own personal experiences, learning how to not be controlled by society, learning how to get over your fears. Any of those topics that you want us to really go in depth about, like, we got that. We can cover that here.
And sometimes we will get deep and woo. So yeah, that's what you guys can expect. The setting will not always be in this freaking jungle villa.
Yeah, we're gonna be everywhere. We're traveling. You don't even know what kind of setup we got going on. These aren't even like the same cameras. Like, one of them's a phone camera
on top
like,
of a suitcase.
Yeah, on top of a suitcase. You don't even know. Actually, you know what?
We don't even know if there's like audio with the water background. Like, hopefully it's gonna be calming and it's gonna be very vibey. But like, what if the water just like is just taking over everything? I don't know. Hopefully not.
Why would it? The mic is right here. Our mouth is right here. The water's over there.
But the water is powerful. Audio listeners can just imagine what happened.
Yeah,
they don't need to know.
Yeah, you don't need to know. But anyways, that's mostly it for the first episode. Just kind of an introduction. We're excited, to say the least, of everything that's to come. And
we really wanna evolve with you, so we wanna take you on this journey. And yeah, I will get rid of my fear of bugs. I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't.
Yeah,
but
we'll see.
We love you so much.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Hit it.
Next time. Wait, hold on. No. Okay. Go. Next stop you are. Next stop is you are. I cannot multitask like this is a lot for me. But I am trying my best with one chord I got. Next stop is you are. And hope you like, comment, and subscribe. We end with an om. Oh.